A lot of times, integrating social and environmental issues into business strategy generates trade-offs. For example, it might be cheap to produce a brown product, but it might be expensive to produce a green product. In other words, meeting environmental standards may come at a competitive disadvantage because my product becomes more expensive. That is the typical argument that is made when we talk about trade-offs of integrating sustainability. That is a valid trade-off. But if we adopt the definition of business sustainability, which is about managing the triple bottom line in a social, environmental, and economic context, then one can see that neither of those two companies is sustainable. Why? Because the company that produces the brown and cheap product is not sustainable in the environmental sense, but also the company that produces the green product is not sustainable in the financial sense because it might be likely to be at a competitive disadvantage. So those trade-offs lie at the heart of sustainability. Understanding those trade-offs lies at the heart of sustainability. And how do we do that? Well, for any given company, first it is important to understand who are the company's key stakeholders. In this case, it's the environment versus the cost when we talk about a green or a brown product and the cost of producing it. Now, if this trade-off only arises because we identify the environment as an important stakeholder. Because if the environment isn't an important stakeholder, there is no trade-off. We just go with the brown and cheap product. Now, in order to devise business strategy, in other words, we need to first identify who are the key stakeholders, which will then lead us to see what are the trade-offs. Trade-offs for some companies are going to look like problems, right? They're going to give up when they see these trade-offs and say, well, it's impossible to produce a green product that is cheap, therefore I give up. But other companies, and perhaps the better ones, are going to see this trade-off as a bottleneck for innovation, as a challenge to address, perhaps as an ambitious target to achieve, and therefore inspire their people, their employees to innovate towards resolving that trade-off. That's why a lot of the times we consider sustainability to be intrinsically related to innovation, because in order to make a company sustainable in its broader context and financially sustainable, and not just sustainable, right? We're talking about superior profitability, so seeing these as opportunities, as profitable opportunities, it has to do with achieving that degree of innovation that resolves these trade-offs. Of course, one may ask, is innovation in this context different than innovation in any other context? Are we talking about plain old innovation here? Actually, we're not, because sustainability-driven innovation is parameterized in a much different way. We're not talking about simple or even advanced technological innovations. We're talking about innovations that account for social and environmental challenges, not just challenges within an economic context. And there lies the challenge for managers and executives, because those are domains of corporate responsibility that are more prominent, that are more relevant in recent years. And those are the domains that executives need to understand better, need to engage better, and they need to use better in their innovation process. Because once you account for these big opportunities, once you're able to innovate and resolve these key trade-offs at the center of sustainability, then fundamentally this allows you to build a competitive advantage for the long term. So this is not just about minimizing the bad impacts, this is about maximizing the positive impacts, because if you do innovate in this manner, you do not only resolve an economic issue, you resolve a social and environmental need or a problem. So you're positively contributing towards society in a social or environmental sense through your products, through your services, through the core of what you do as a business.